Welcome back
What's up, everybody?
to Critical and Thinking.
We're still talking. Hey, go ahead.
Well,
Intro.
so we're taking over from where we were last week.
And we're talking spankings.
We're talking about some spanking. We're going to get back to talking about some.
We got a bunch of
politics,
stuff here.
and we're going to talk about travel still.
So, but just calling in just now, good friend of mine from New York. I hope this works. I really hope this works. Good friend of mine, JP Justice. Hey, man, when I tell you one of the most hilarious comedians I've seen, I'm not making this up because he's just on the phone right now. This motherfucker is hilarious, bro. And he has something to say about the whole spanking thing because he has 4 kids. Can you hear me, JP?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There he is.
Sir.
Can you hear that? All right, good. All right, so
I'm gonna send that $20 cash app for that plug right there. Thank you for that right there.
I got you, boy. I got you. So give us your, because you were writing in on the comment section there, but Ian and I and you have varying opinions on spankings. You have 4 daughters. I think they're all grown now, right? All your kids are grown.
My baby girl is 15. Actually, she's going to her formal tonight.
Oh wow.
They don't want to call it a prom. It's called a formal. And you should have seen the dress, bro. Dude, the dress made me look and say, where did the time go?
Oh, I know. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy, dude. It flies like that, dude. And you feel like it's only so much you can say. Like I did a FaceTime with my youngest, who's 21, and she was hanging out at her boyfriend's house. And honestly, I was like, I can't say shit. I'm like, all I could do is tell the dude, I was like, you know, that's my baby, bro. You know, that's my baby.
I was gonna say my daughter's 14. I've seen some of those.
Watch this.
At least.
By the way,
what's your partner's name again? What's your partner's name?
Ian.
Hey, Ian, you know what's really sad?
Huh.
He had to hang up the phone saying, "Oh my God, he is doing my daughter."
No, I did not think that at all. So stop. Don't put that in my head. No, don't put that in my head. So right. I want to get your so I want people out there to hear your opinions on spankings.
All right, so here we go. Here's my thing on spanking. First off, governments and all that kind of stuff should come out of our homes. They should not tell us how to raise our kids. They should not dictate to us how to discipline our kids. I agree with Ian when Ian said not all kids are the same and some are easily disciplined where some are harder to discipline. Now, a real parent just doesn't wake up in the morning and go, today I'm going to beat my kid's butt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A real parent doesn't do that. A real parent does weigh out the good and the bad. A beating isn't, unless you did something emergency wrong, like you set something on fire or you threw a knife. I'm just randomly throwing stuff out.
Right.
Unless it was an emergency a situation, do they immediately just beat? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
A real beating is piled up, and you can see. As a parent today, I can see my parents' frustration when I was coming in late every day.
Got you.
Or brought in a late report card, or brought in a bad report card twice, or didn't do my homework and the teacher called, or I didn't take the garbage out, or
right.
And I can see it piling up, and you can hear the frustration as I keep trying to tell him, and he's not gathering it. I keep trying to tell him, fold your clothes up.
Right.
I keep trying to tell him, keep the room clean. But
now,
if I turned around and beat up one of my younger brothers to the point where they were hurt, then that's an emergency situation. And then she did jump in and just beat me. And my dad would jump in and just beat me. Yeah, man.
I want Ian to tell you the specific scenario that sparked the conversation we're talking about, and I'm gonna have him tell you the situation, and you tell me your feelings on that because you kind of came in the middle of it, so I don't know if you heard the exact situation of what happened. Right. Go ahead, Ian.
Oh well, actually we were talking about it before, but I don't remember how we got into it.
You have a kid in your class.
Yeah, that came later, but yeah, no, I'm trying to remember how. But yeah, I have a kid, a guy that I train. And he's 15, and he I train in martial arts, and his mom wanted to take him out of it. Well, it turned out later she just wanted to punish him, and her punishment was to take him out of the thing he liked.
Hey, Judy.
But originally she said that she wanted to take him out of martial arts because he was learning bad stuff because he hit her. And I said, oh, well then yeah, that's a bad idea. So I called them both in, and I said, let's talk about this. What happened? And they both basically told the same story up to one little part, and that is that he was playing video games in his room, and he was yelling at the TV and cursing and going, "Ah, shit, fuck, go, go, whatever," and whatever. And his friends were in there, and they were all playing. And
Oh, you didn't even tell me. His friends were there too? Oh,
he had a friend, I guess. They were playing video games, and they were, so the mom busted into the room, started screaming at him and punching him. So he grabbed her and restrained her hands and said, "Stop punching me, stop punching me, stop punching me." He let her go, and she smacked him across the face. And then he says he pushed her away. He pushed her away, but he pushed her at the face, pushed her away. She says that he slapped her, and it wasn't a push, it was a slap. That's the only difference in the story. And all I said was, well, you shouldn't come busting into somebody's room, punching him and smacking him in the face. I don't care how old they are. I don't care what they've done. I don't care if they said what video game they yelled at.
So
Don't expect somebody to just sit there and get punched on and get hit in the face and not restrain you or not do something. And I don't agree that he should have hit her back, but Jesus, like, you can't. If your reaction is to fucking punch your kid and smack him in the face, don't expect somebody to just sit there and take that like that. That's not that, especially for what, for swearing at the TV. I mean, it's stupid.
Go ahead.
A very small, brief chapter in my life is training martial art as well, and his fighting theses and his fighting philosophy is across the board for him. Talking about Ian. So when Ian is expressing in martial arts, one of the things they always express to you is to always defend yourself. Defend yourself. But we're talking about a situation that has nothing to do with the training. And Ian, the second you said training and fighting in martial arts, I immediately understand, because even my teachers would say, no one puts your hand on you. This is a defensive tactic that I'm teaching you. So I understand exactly what you're saying.
And by the way, he tried to restrain it. He held on to her and said, "Don't hit me." And when he let go of her, she hit him again. So he had restrained her the right way.
I'm going to give you a long example. Not a long example, but just listen to this. One day I came in 11th grade. I'll never forget it. 11th grade. It was right before the summer. I came in with a report card that was slaughtered. You hear me? My report card was hit. My mother looked at the report card and she smacked me. I'm 11 years old. I took the smack. I ate that. She said, "Oh, you think you're a man?" She then punched me.
He can't hear, so.
And I stood my ground.
This isn't good.
And I took the punch. She said, "Oh, you think that?" She took the belt buckle, not the belt, the belt buckle, and lashed me across my back. I was so angry that I even took that. It went from the belt buckle to the broomstick, from the broomstick to the extension cord. Then finally, I heard she went in the kitchen, and I heard the cast iron frying pan drag.
Damn.
I heard the cast iron frying pan drag from underneath the sink.
Okay, that's a bit much.
When she came in with the cast iron frying pan, I grabbed her by her shoulder and her arm and knocked the frying pan out of her hand and pushed her away. She started crying. She said, "Well, she said, when your father come home, we're going to see if you're a man in this house. You want to be a man?" She walked away crying. I walked away petrified, because right. You're never supposed to put your hands on your mother. But in my mind, this is a little bit too far.
A little bit.
All the other situations, just because all the other situations you dealt me, I ate.
Right.
Don't escalate to this level. So I went back to my room and I was petrified for the few hours that my dad wasn't home and waiting for him to come home. When my dad came home, my dad is a blue collar worker. He don't go. Listen to me, man. My dad did not go for undisciplinary child at all. You hear me?
Wow.
I'm one of 11 kids. Listen, he was not hearing that. When he came in, my mother immediately jumped down his throat. JP this, JP this, JP that, JP. And my father said, "Tell JP to get his ass out here." So when I come out here, bro, you can imagine the fear in my life about what was about to happen. So when my mother told him the entire story and she got to the cast iron frying pan, my father turned and said, "What was he supposed to do? Stand there and let you crack his goddamn skull open with that cast iron frying pan?" Right. No, he was supposed to block. He was supposed to do that. He said, "You can't escalate that far and think that this young man ain't going to defend himself." So I understand both sides.
Right, I got you.
But you do understand that I had to let that past happen. All those beatings is a past. My mother's my mother. I never for once, even as a child, thought that what she was doing was abuse. I knew it was for the better. You know what I'm saying? I just knew I was a defiant kid. So kids are never supposed to put
Tell
their
me
hands on
Bible
their
talking
parents unless their parents are abusers. They're drinking, they're
Right.
alcohol, they are drug abusers.
It's not gonna go
And then you
It's
know
not
the
gonna
difference
go.
between discipline and abuse. And when you're being disciplined, that's being disciplined. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
I got
Well,
you.
yeah, JP. Unfortunately, we'll have to let you go because the people
Yeah, I
on
know.
half the people can't hear you.
I see y'all with the hand signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't. They just can't hear you, unfortunately. So no one knows what we're talking
Man,
about.
and I'm pissed too because I really wanted them to hear all that.
But we'll figure out how to do a call in one of these
and
days. We'll figure it out. And we'll actually do a call in.
But I will reiterate that story to them, man, because like I told you before, I agree with Ian and I agree with you on the not just letting somebody smack you up or crack you over the head with a frying pan and all that. But again, you know how we was raised, bro. Your mom is your mom.
Right, but see, and again, though, my point is that the reason it escalates is because it's seen as the same thing. The reaction to a bad grade is physical violence, and
See, she can hear him now.
Okay.
But no, see, Ian, what you're not getting is that that wasn't the first report card. That was like the
And
that was like the,
see, that's what I'm saying.
right. So the discipline wasn't working. So that's my point. None of this was working. So, but beating you or hitting you with a hand or a frying pan isn't going to make you do better in school. It's not.
Bro, just so you know, after that beating, he did become a PhD.
Yeah.
yes, it was. No,
But see, that's my point. Is
I'll tell you this. Actually, after the beating, it did wake me up to she's not playing about this situation. Like Jay, and you know, I had one more final report card before the school was out. I knew I couldn't come back in with. I knew I couldn't come back in with that kind of report card. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right. But my point is still that I think there are much better other and better ways to do that. Is my point.
Point it toward his microphone. So he's got a
Yeah.
microphone
Yeah.
up here.
Yeah.
Try to
Both of them here.
Keep the phone. So this
How's
is for
that?
the podcast. This is for the people.
Yeah.
Move this to that and aim it.
So
at
Yeah,
is it
they'll,
cool like
they'll
this?
be able to hear probably.
Can they hear him now? Say something. JP.
Well, listen,
Yeah, there we go.
Those are good short microphones y'all got right there.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and here's my thing. I'm just saying that, and I'm not saying definitively either way. I'm just saying that we're looking at, first off, one example and when you look at the exhaustive studies over the years, that shows the exact opposite. And I'm just saying that, yeah, maybe in extreme cases, I don't know that that's an extreme case. I think that there might have been better ways to get to you. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're an individual, different individual.
I believe that beating shouldn't be ruled out. I believe, this is what I honestly believe. I believe parents should be mentally certified. What do you call it? Evaluated.
Yeah.
And if you're evaluated and you get a certificate saying that you're mentally
That's right.
fit to raise your child, then you should get a card, and that card should be
like the joke that I do.
your ass card.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing: is talk about being in your. That is infinitely more difficult. That is infinitely more difficult and more invasive if you're trying to be not having government in your shit, to having government tell you who is legal and who isn't legal to have a kid. I agree that there are. I mean, I would say the majority of people out there are not fit to play with Tyson.
Damn right.
You're not fit to raise a turtle.
That's what I'm saying. I got a joke about that, dude.
But-
I think people need to take tests before they make a
But again,
person.
then we're talking about being invasive. I mean, I know people out there. You can say to them, "Hey, man, you know, there are nowadays a population is going through the roof. In China, they had to make a one-child law. If you have one child, it decreases the population. 2 children, keep it even." And I know people out there that are like, "If I want to have 20 kids, that's my prerogative." Oh, we lost him anyway. I think we just lost him. All right, we lost you, JP, but that was good. We're gonna find a way to make this happen in the future anyway.
But that was great.
But I just think to talk about being invasive, that's more invasive than saying, "Hey, let's
Wait,
not
make
be
somebody
a-"
take a test?
Yeah, in order to, I mean, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, but the government telling you what is correct. What's the next thing? Then they say, well, you can't have a kid unless you write on this test that you're a fundamentalist Christian.
Okay,
That's what we determine as good.
And
good
now we
parenting.
got our next topic.
No. Well, I do want to go back to, since it is part 2, we never got there. Let's keep it light for a second. We're like, so we started out this going, we're going to keep this one light.
I know. This
So
is
what
lighter
happens
than-
when
this
you're
is
beating your
lighter.
kid with a stick?
I know, but it is lighter than what we've talked about before as far as government. But go ahead.
Somebody should have beat Trump. That would have been good. But we started off last time with the, we're going on vacation. So if you're listening to this, it's because I'm on vacation, Ty's out working.
Right.
And we're talking about going to New York.
Love it.
Ty and I were going to
Favorite
go to New
city.
York for a little bit. It's his favorite place to go. I'm going to London and Paris with my family.
Have you been before?
To where?
Either one.
London or Paris?
Paris.
I've been to London. I've not been to Paris.
Well, you went to London for some fight thing, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been to
That's
London.
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
and I've been to Wales. I've been to the UK. I've been to Ireland twice. I've been to the UK. Never been to London for any specific period of, for any
You're not gonna
extended
really
period
like
of time.
the food. I can tell you that.
Although I love Indian food, and
Indian
the best
food is
Indian
great.
food in the world.
The
is in
Indian food
England.
over there is
Yes.
great. You're talking about just regular old British food? Nah, I wasn't really
that's
impressed.
not what they're
Bangers
known
and
for.
mash, I
Yeah.
wasn't really impressed.
Nah.
I'm sorry. I love the area, though.
But let's everybody out there, whether if you're on either one of our Facebook feeds, we'd like to get what are your favorite destinations? What was your favorite place that you ever went to
right.
vacation? I will say I've been to a lot of places. I've been to Greece. I've been to the islands of Greece. I've been to Athens. I've been to Hong Kong. I've been to Bali, Ireland a few times, Wales. I've been to Brazil. I've been to quite a few different places. I want to go back to Greece. I
loved Greece. I had a really good time there. The food was great. The hospitality was on point. Let me tell you something. This is what you really appreciate when you do have to travel, is when people show you that they appreciate you visiting their country. Man, and we had some of the best food. The hospitality was on point. Everybody was polite. The service was great. Nobody was, man, I loved it. Santorini, I had some
That's where we went on our honeymoon. Yeah.
really good fried fish. Which, by the way, just so you know, I asked him red snapper. I was asking him for red snapper, and when I say fresh fish, dude, they put the restaurant. The restaurant is here. The water is right there. Like they can go right in the water, pull the fish out, and serve it to you. Like we had to go pick the fish,
right?
And so I asked him. I said, "Well, can you fry it?" And I'm pretty sure they looked at me like, "Look at this fucking American."
Well, yeah, it's funny. Two things. Greece. So we did a week in Santorini. We did a week in, or something, 4 or 5 days, whatever, in Athens. And then we did a little boat trip where we went to a bunch of different islands for a day, right? And one of the islands was this little tiny island named Patmos. And it's the one that we like the best because when you're on those little boat trips, you basically get to see the port. And the port area sucks because it's just like a flea market. And it's like, oh, great, I bought a Raiders jacket in Istanbul. Like, what, who the fuck cares? Yeah. But this one didn't have much of a port, so we wandered around this tiny little island. There's not much there, but people go there because it's like where there's a cave where John wrote part of the Bible or whatever, so people go there. We didn't give a shit about that, so we just wandered around. And
gee, I wonder why.
But historically, I think it'd be cool. But we wandered around and just wanted to see what the locals are like. Because to me, I'd rather see what locals are doing than what the fucking they're doing at the port selling trinkets and shit, right? So, and
we're talking about Greece already, babe. We're already talking about it.
Oh, is Greece your favorite? That's what we're talking. Yeah,
that's our favorite place to go.
So when we went to Patmos, we walked, and I have pictures of this dude. We walk out on this little tiny beach, and there's this one guy on a beach, and it's so funny. He looked like if you were making a movie about, and some woman goes off with her friends and meets the guy, because he's a dude, he's in shorts, no shirt, perfectly tan.
You ever see Along Came Polly? You ever see Along Came Polly?
No.
That's what happens to Ben Stiller's wife. She meets the guy on that, and the guy is played by Hank Azaria.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So go ahead.
This guy's got like curly blonde hair, and he's kind of ripped, and he's just in the water washing the ink out of an octopus that he bought, or a squid, or whatever the heck it is.
Washing the ink out of it.
Yeah, because they shoot ink. Right.
Well, you just you got to wash it out.
Yeah, like you clean it and whatever, and he's washing it, and there's ink. No, because he takes it and then he sells it
to eat.
So he has to clean it. So he's cleaning it and washing it, and we're like, that's gonna go right to that store and be sold in 5 minutes. Dude. And that was the dude's job. He caught a fucking squid or an octopus or whatever the fuck it was, and he washed it. It was cool as shit.
Let me tell you, bro, when we went to the market because, like I said, the water is right there. You go to the market, and this place was recommended.
Hey, Don.
This place was recommended, by the way, to go to. So we had to first of all, you got to walk down all these goddamn stairs to get there. And we took a donkey ride, either down or up, one of the two. And so we go into the little fish thing, and they say, okay, well, here, pick your fish. And you always think it's going to be, like, frozen. But, like, the fish is still kind of, you can tell the fish is like, goddamn it. It's still alive. But when I asked them to fry the fish, they looked at me like, yeah, sure. And we were both sitting there.
Right.
And she ordered like lobster or something that we were just like, well, I'm pretty sure they can't fuck up lobster, But me the whole time I'm sitting there like, man, if they looked at me like that when I asked them to fry this fish, I know they're gonna fuck this up. some of the best red snapper.
Right.
We went twice, bro. We took the donkey
Nice.
ride down
Right.
twice. That's how good it was. And I think I don't know.
Where was this?
was
Santorini?
I think it was Santorini. It was
Okay.
one of them places.
Love Santorini.
But it was one of the most amazing places to go. Great sunsets and stuff like that. I personally,
Well, it's known as having the best sunset in the world.
it
at
was.
EOS, yeah.
It is. We did the boat thing, and we had food on the boat and shit like that. But I will tell you again, I didn't like the travel, bro. I just want to hurry up and get
So,
there. I don't.
yeah,
wanna,
I know.
It's
I
too
feel you,
long
but
of a plane
sometimes it's
ride.
the anticipation. I will say this when
Paris.
yeah,
versus Paris.
that's where we're going, and I'll be there in 2 weeks. But I can't wait. I've been wanting to see Paris forever. And I had a great time when I went to London. I had a great time in Wales. But the thing is, when I went to Bali, they have this
never
place.
been.
Okay, so Bali's a weird situation. So we went to Bali. We were supposed to go to Italy, and
Have you ever been?
to Italy.
Yeah.
No, I want to
Oh,
go.
okay.
We almost went this year to Italy and Spain. And we
They were
decided
rude in Florence, but the trip itself was okay.
next year Barcelona and Italy. Probably. But we went to we were supposed to go to Italy, and I had a friend who's like, "Oh, we bought this chateau or whatever in a winery, and we're building it out right now. Don't go to Italy. Wait until it's done, and we'll let you stay at our place." Okay. She goes, "In the meantime, we have a 5-house villa in Bali.
Damn.
Why don't you guys go there? And you can just stay for free. Just tip the staff, because they have 7 people working there constantly, a driver and all this kind
Wow.
of. It's really cool. So we went
You
there.
hear this?
So we went to Bali. Yeah, it's called the Alir. They rent it out. It's great. It's in Bali. But so we had to fly to Hong Kong. And by the way, talk about
Oh,
flight.
that's okay. We're not going.
14 hours to Hong Kong, and then another 5 hours to Bali. It's 24 hours
Not going.
total with wait. But so we go to Hong Kong. We're like, well, shit, we're gonna be in Hong Kong, and there's a 17-hour delay. Why don't we stay for a couple days and check out Hong Kong? Because we've never been. So we ended up staying for 4 days in Hong Kong. I fucking loved Hong Kong.
Really?
Now, Hong Kong has got 30 million people in a space the size of San Francisco, basically. It's built up this mountain. But you can get around. It's super easy because it used to be English-owned. So it's like there's English and Chinese.
Okay, good.
But like all the lines are the same. So if you're on the train, the bus, the boat, the red line is the red line, the yellow line is the yellow line. So red goes to red, blue goes to blue, yellow. So if you're trying to get
No,
somewhere.
we're not. No, we're not going to Bali. No, we're not. Stop. Don't even think about it. But go ahead.
But so Bali, so Hong Kong is super clean. People are a little bit rude, but it's really easy to go around. The food's good. It's super clean. Bali, on the other hand, the nicest people you'll ever meet in
Really?
your life. It's very very third world, so it's kind of dirty at dirt roads and stuff like that. But we had this driver that would take us around all day long, give us a tour, whatever, drive us anywhere around. $50 a day, which for him is like he's rich. $50 of our money a day to drive us around all day long, like private Uber, and he speaks the language. So
Oh, good. Good.
and he took us to this place. It's just a long story to get to a long story. He took us to this one place. You order. It's like looks like a seafood market. It's a restaurant. It's like the best restaurant there. One of the best restaurants there. You order what you see the market. You see what they have,
Right.
all the fresh fish, and you go, "I'd like that fish." And then up on the menu, all the different ways and all the different sides you can get it. with.
Yeah.
I'd like it cooked that way with that side, and then they serve it to you. And the restaurant is actually out. The tables are out on the beach.
Oh, wow.
It's really cool, and the food was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well,
if you go to Bali,
we're still not going.
why wouldn't you go to Bali?
It's too fucking long to go, man. I don't. Let me tell you something, man. We've
Doing
made.
trips. Go to New York for a couple days. Go to London for a couple days. Then
Hey,
go to.
I don't make that kind of money, bro. we got to just space that shit out. You talking about that's some baller shit where like, let's take 3 or 4 weeks to just travel the world. I'm not there yet. Let's see. Magda says strangest place was China. Jinlin, I don't know what the rest of the other word is.
Changchun? Yeah.
And then Brett says Paris is amazing. Some of the greatest art in the world.
Food is great, too.
We
I gotta go to Paris.
I wouldn't. I want to know how Paris was. I wouldn't mind going to Paris, but I would. That's a trip that I would do like you and Janine are doing. Combine it. Like I would do London, take the train
Yeah, so we're
over
doing.
to Paris. I'd rather do
That's
it.
what
like
I was
that.
gonna do. Go to Barcelona and then either take a train or
You're
rent a car and
man,
go to
you
the
love Barcelona
and go to Italy.
Barcelona reminded me of New York a lot. It reminded
Right.
me of New York a lot. Not so much.
Food's good there too, right?
The food is awesome, dude.
Right.
Hey, let me tell you. Ever since we went, we got these prosciutto peppers.
Right.
I've been trying to find them ever since we got back. And I mean, every once in a while you'll find a store that has them. Trader Joe's has them, but they would make them. They lightly sauteed with oil and a little bit of sea salt on them. Fucking delicious. And cherries. I think we got the cherries in Spain. Huge cherries, bro.
Right.
Like this. And I have not seen cherries like them ever since. I'm talking about anywhere since I've been back. I look at cherries in the United States
Karina
like they're
says Padrones pepper.
yeah.
Yeah.
I look at Madrid is where we got the them there. But the cherries that I see in the United States compared to the ones we saw there,
Right.
disgusting.
You're
These
like,
are disgusting cherries.
get these cherries away from me.
How dare you call these
These
cherries?
are grapes, motherfucker.
Exactly.
I
But-
love cherries, by the way. Cherries are like probably my
Oh, dude, Ian, I'm telling you, huge cherries. Like
Right.
you almost like you said, there's not a small apple. Like and I mean delicious. We went through a couple bags of them. But like I said, so to me, so I guess if I had to pick a place, Italy was nice. Had really good food in Italy. If you love truffle.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Oh man, I'm telling you, some of the best pasta that ever. Like truffle pasta, that was fucking phenomenal. You can't even. It's not even.
Have you guys been to Ireland?
No.
Okay, it's not that the flight is not that.
Well, it's not
I mean,
that
it's
long.
far, but it's not. It's like 8 hours or something. At 9 hours, it's not
From
like
here?
Yeah.
Okay, that's doable.
And it's I mean, even if you fly into Heathrow, what's that? 9 hours, then you go take a ferry across or whatever. But you can fly right into Shannon Airport, I believe, or Dublin Airport.
That's doable.
But Ireland, man, it's one of the coolest.
Oh, you love it over there, though, right?
It's dude, it's a beautiful place. The people are cool as hell. The coast is amazing. I mean, it rains a lot, but it's called the Emerald Isle for a reason.
Okay.
It is amazing.
Really?
It's so great. The same thing with the food, though. Food's okay. It's the same thing as kind of England. You got that kind of.
Yeah,
I mean,
man,
I guess if
just
you like
was
corned
not
beef, that's
impressed.
good.
I
But
wasn't impressed with the food in England, man. Like until I went to like I said, the Indian restaurants. The Indian restaurants are really nice.
the best Indian restaurants probably outside of what the heck?
What state are you guys in? Oh yeah,
California.
we're in California. So yeah, and like I said, man, if I okay, so let me tell you, if I could get past the travel where I would like to go, Australia. If I could get past the flight thing, I would love to go.
I
there
hear
just to kinda see what's-
Australia's a super long flight. I hear the longest flight for us is South Africa.
yeah.
I hear South Africa is like 30 hours or
Yeah,
some
I'm not doing
nonsense.
that, bro. I can't even. I would go crazy doing. What's up, Mark? Mark G
I
just
think-
signed on.
I think it was hey Mark G, somebody I know just worked with you. Was it Tracy? Anyway, somebody was just say they work with you. But yeah, Brazil. I went to Rio. I've been to Rio a couple times, and Sao Paulo, and it's like
Hilarious.
it's fucking.
I don't know any edibles that last that long.
It is so. It is so damn. It's like I forgot what it was. 11, 12 hours. Not as far as Hong Kong. Hong Kong was a flight, but I'll tell you what. Hong Kong, you don't go over any land. It's just ocean to ocean. And it's usually, at least when I went, both times, it was super smooth. And we
Right.
flew Cathay Pacific, which that is an airline. Holy crap! Cathay Pacific has got to be the best airline I've ever been on.
Okay.
They are so
Hey, Stacey.
amazing. The entertainment system is good. The food is good.
Okay,
Like
good.
it was, Cathay Pacific was good. I mean, yeah, I've flown.
I
some-
thought you were saying that like it was Spirit or something like.
Oh
hey,
no!
we're not
Cathay
doing that.
Pacific is amazing. Lufthansa's good.
All right, let's see what China was. Magda says China was 16 hours
nonstop to
nonstop.
Beijing. Jesus.
Come on, I can't do that.
Then 2 hours to Jinling.
There's not enough entertainment in your system to make me not know that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, I wouldn't mind if I had to do it. I wouldn't mind doing those long flights if I was in business or first class. Like I need the
Right.
seats to go all the way back, bro. I
Right.
can't have a little bit like that does nothing for me. No,
Right.
I need. One time I flew business class, and which by the way I didn't even realize I had never flown business class, and I didn't know what business class was. And I remember they upgraded me, but I didn't know what business class was.
Right.
So they said, "Yes, sir. We just switched some stuff around. We put you in business class." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, we just put
You
you."
don't
in
put
business
me
class."
in business. It's better. Oh, okay.
No, but that's what I'm saying. She didn't even say that, bro. She just kept saying, "Sir, we put you in business class." And I'm like, "Yeah, so let me get this straight. I got to be on this long ass fucking flight. In business class, I can't have my seat. You're changing me around to business class." And she just kind of looked at me like, "Is this stupid?" It's like, "Sir, it is business class."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh,
Well, but
okay."
let's be honest. Business class doesn't sound.
It
Doesn't
exactly.
sound good. They should call it like semi.
Call it
first
better class.
Call it second class.
Call it even use words that I understand. Better. It's
Better
better
class.
class, sir.
Better
We
class.
put you in better class.
put you in better
Thank you,
class.
sir. Thank you. We put you in better
There's
class.
first class. There's pretty good class, and then there's fucking poor people class.
Yeah, exactly. You're not in poor people class anymore, sir. You're in better class. All right. Because when I got in there, when I walked in, dude, motherfuckers could tell that I'd never been in business class.
I've seen using like there's a one flight that I took to New York. I think it was to New York. It was a Virgin Atlantic. There's this. They have a couple of these planes. Virgin Atlantic is great, by the way. But there's one where the plane goes a third first class, a third business class, and a third coach. Most of them are like there's a little bit of business or first, and then it's all coach, right? This one set of Virgin Atlantic or Virgin America planes, the plane is divided up this way, and even the middle section business class ones are like recliners, and they and the first class it's two that face each other, so you can like sit with somebody and you chill, recline, facing each other with little tray. It's like I'm like that shit is cool. I want one of those.
That
seats.
one I can take a long flight on, but commercially, I'm not doing that shit, bro. Let me tell you, the last time I actually well, I guess it was the vacations that we taken, and that's the only reason I get on planes to go long.
Yeah, too much.
Look at that! Come on, Magda, $11,000. I'm not paying $11,000 to fucking fly. No, if I'm paying $11,000, I want to get there before everybody else on the fucking plane. Like, there's no way in the world we getting there at the same time. I want to be there 5 hours before.
Well, they're talking about a new plane that they have that goes out above the atmosphere, I guess, or super high, so where there's less resistance and super. That's all crazy. Where it's like you get to like China in like 3 hours or some nonsense. It goes like speed of sound or something.
Yeah, they're gonna have to perfect that because the shit that's going on with the 737. No. I need y'all to perfect that shit very much before I even think about going into the upper atmosphere and shit. Nah. That's like when people talk about flying cars. If transmission still can go out, I'm not taking a chance on the flying car.
Right.
We can barely handle people driving. We don't
I
need
want to know that the flying car, what kind of air traffic control? Because there's no roads. Like on roads, you stay in the lines. Like theoretically.
Would they
but if there's no roads, like how the fuck do you know what your lane is?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you
some fucking 16-year-old texting and oh my god.
Exactly. Because then you got to think if they do make flying cars. Because first of all, because I was gonna say, well, maybe they just hover, but if they hover, it's still the same as wheels.
Stay on the road.
If you have to have some regulations to where if they can go, because everyone has a dream where if they're in traffic, they're like, I wish I could just go over these people. But if you have it that high, then you would need a pilot's license. You can't just.
Well, I'm sure they would do something to where there's some sort of air traffic control, which would add jobs, I guess. But where one direction, like eastbound, you have to fly at a certain feet. Yeah, and on the way back, you fly different.
That will never. I always thought, Back to the Future told us we would have had it 3-4 years ago. That's not happening. And to be honest with you, I don't think I want that.
Well, I don't know that I want. Some of these people I know be like, well, I'm gonna fly at 3,000 feet. What are 3,000 feet? Like it's a foot bigger than an inch? Like I don't know that I want some of these fucking people flying around me.
Oh my god,
at 200 miles an hour.
Nah, bro, not at all. And come on, man.
Did you see that Tucker Carlson called?
Bow tie guy.
Yeah, he had some guy on, and they were talking about the metric system, and they called it a global. What they call it? Some sort of global terrorist. Yeah. The global terrorism or of the metric system. It's like, oh my god, you can't even. The metric system, it's 1 through 10. That's it. Like, how fucking hard is it?
Dude,
it's like, oh my god.
It's just, no.
When people can't deal with the metric system, I don't think they need flying cars.
You asked me something earlier, and about like why wouldn't I live in New York? Let me tell you. Well, I would if I could, and if I really tried it, I could probably do it, but it's too much.
Then you'd be like, my favorite place to go is L.A. The beaches and
you know what, man? Because I'm gonna tell you something. There is an energy. Whenever I get to New York, bro, and maybe it's because I don't live there. Maybe
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe that would be it. Maybe because I don't. Always, but every time I've been there, I always feel like it's something new to see. But
Magda's in Queens.
Magda, come on, you know what I'm talking about. Now let me ask you this, Magda.
Of course, but you can't ever ask a New Yorker if they like New York.
That's what I'm asking. Are you over New York, or do you not see the hype in it anymore? Or are you still as enamored with New York as people who come and visit and they love the city? Because I love it. As you can tell, like you can see, I love the city. But let me ask you this: if you didn't live in Los Angeles, Ian, where would you live? Where else would you live in the United States?
Man, that's a tough one because I've thought about it. Like I could sell my house and probably go buy a mansion and an apartment building in like Idaho or something.
Yeah.
And just like retire.
Yep.
Now.
Most definitely.
And just do some gigs that I want to do here and there, write a couple books or whatever.
Most definitely.
But I grew up in Santa Cruz. You know, I grew up at the beach my whole. I'm born and raised in California.
You don't want to go anywhere where there's no beach.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even surf anymore because of my back and other issues and whatever. But it's like I don't know that I could be away from
Water.
the beach. And I know I have friends that moved to places like upstate New York or other places on the East Coast, and they're still near the beach. But it's like it's just not the same. It's like they get to go in the summer. I honestly, my wife and I have talked about moving to another country. We've talked about moving to Ireland, opening up a bed and breakfast or something like that. I'm sure, although I'm sure Irish people fucking hate that. I would probably move to London. It's a cool city.
I love London.
It's a cool ass city, and there's comedy scene's pretty booming over there. But it's fucking expensive.
But you know what's one of the best things about London's comedy scene is that once you're in and you're working, like they treat comedians like it's supposed to be.
Yes,
like a like it's your job. Like it's your job. Like you
and like the comedy club is open because people are there to see comedians.
And there's no you have to have X amount of credits to get credible work. Nah, if you are in the system and you're working, oh dude, you can make a killing over there. I mean, I'm talking about
it's
a
the 80s.
living, I should say. Yeah.
She said Mag said she could never be away from the beach. And New York. So see, that's the thing is maybe that's it. I mean, maybe I could move to New York, but again, it wouldn't be fixing anything for me because it would still be expensive.
It would be, but let me tell you something, man. There's something, and I'm every time I go, I try to put my finger on it. But there's an energy in that city, and I know sometimes that sounds cliche when people say that. There's an energy to that city, bro. And I mean, you guys went when you guys did the train trip. And this, I want to see if you'll see it differently this time when we go, and you don't have the wife and kid with you, but. Every time I go, bro, it's the only city where you can go and you can get lost in, and it's so much stuff happening. It's kinetic. It's so much stuff happening, and we ain't even talking about the comedy scene yet. The comedy scene alone is just 1,000 times better than Los Angeles. 1,000. I'm not even exaggerating.
Well, I will agree. Every place is better. LA sucks for comedy.
Well, you know what?
San Francisco used to be amazing. Seattle actually used to be a good scene.
Seattle, let me tell you, here's the thing about Seattle and what the problem is with Seattle now. And if there's any comedians out there watching from that area, if you get offended by what I'm about to say, then you know you're the problem. I don't think the comedians up there take advantage. Some of them don't take advantage of the opportunities that they have. When I started, bro, it was really only 2 rooms. The Comedy Underground and Giggles.
Yep.
That was it. If you didn't get on those stages, you didn't work that week. You didn't get on a quality stage. Now, between the Comedy Underground, I wouldn't say the Parlor because it's gone now too, but Tacoma Comedy Club. There's Laughs in
Everett or something.
No, it used to be there, but now it's in the U District.
By the way, that motherfucker.
I know, but.
Known you for like 25 years, bro. You can't respond to a text or an email? Can't? No?
Between that and the small rooms, it's so many different places for comedians to get on. But then I hear these new cats that say, oh, well, I'm not really going to be driving. I don't want to drive 15, 20 minutes to get to a stage. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
Well, why would you not? You know, so I think that's the only problem with the comedy scene up there now because there's way more, it's still more rooms to do. And every time I go, I really try to get as much stage time as I can. But hey, Cindy, how are you? I think that's the only problem with it. But when now to the thing you said about buying a mansion, if you did go to the Midwest, I will say this: there are a number of clubs in the area that are driving distance, and I know comedians that do that. They live in the Midwest, and so they get in on that circuit, and they just do the rounds every year.
I mean, I'll tell you, I find though that there's something to be said about going somewhere for a while. When we were in Greece, my wife and I are like, what would it cost to live here?
Yeah.
You know, and every time I go, so we went to Wales, which has a really big surfing community, believe it or not, because the warm water come up from the Gulf Stream, and it's like on the coast of Wales. There's really good surf. It's like a surf town. It's crazy. I went into a surf shop, and they had pictures of guys I grew up with in Santa Cruz. I'm like, what the hell? And the Gower. So I'm like, maybe I'd move to Wales. Went to Chicago. I fucking love Chicago. It's a cool ass city.
Now we're talking. Now
I would move to Chicago.
Let me tell you about my city.
But you're from Chicago. You don't live there.
City.
See? And you don't live there.
I would. Well, the reason why I would not live, and I hate to say this because it sounds so shitty. I would not live where I grew up. I hate to fucking say that, but I wouldn't.
Right.
One, because I like being able to park my car anywhere and not fucking worry about shit. I like being able to walk up and down the street and not have to watch my back. Now, where my brother lives, like my brother just bought a house in the suburbs. So a lot of people that used to live in the city moved to the suburbs. My brother just bought a house, fucking 4-bedroom house, bro. Fucking 4-bedroom house, big ass backyard, $150,000.
Yeah, and if you're
God
there,
damn.
there's all those clubs like Ohio. There's a whole bunch in the Midwest and like the northern, the north south. I almost said like that aren't that far.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like if I would move back only if I could live where I wanted to live. But now we also have to understand winter exists.
No,
now,
for sure.
When winter, because right now if you go to Chicago now, everybody's like, oh my God, it's
amazing.
great, it's the food, the beach, and then the lake
February
shore
comes.
You're like, what the fuck is this? Is this the Arctic polar cap?
My friend from high school moved up to Kingston, New York, upstate New York, and he loves it up there. But he's like, winter is insane.
It's brutal, and that's why I
Insane.
said So Magda, that's the only down. Well, you know what? And honestly, in defense of New York, that is the only city, Chicago included, that I would live in the wintertime. I wouldn't even live in Chicago. I wouldn't go back to Chicago in the wintertime. But New York, if I found a way to make it work, I would move to New York and deal with wintertime. I totally would. I would take my chances. But there's no other place that I would even do that.
We're gonna do one more. I don't know if we'll keep it up. We're saying bye here on this one. We're doing three podcasts today because we're gonna be gone.
Yeah, we're doing all this with stockpiling stuff.
So what we'll do is the next one, for those of you who are watching, the next one we're gonna do will probably be the one that actually airs this week because we'll talk about topical stuff. So we're gonna get political. We're gonna talk about topical stuff. These last two hour and a half have been fun talking about different stuff. We're going to get a little deeper in the next hour because that'll be the first one. These two that we just watched are going to air in the next couple weeks. So if you're listening to this online,
that's right.
It's because we taped this a while ago because we right now are in London, Paris, or on a boat somewhere, or in New York somewhere. Somewhere like that.
We'll be in one of those three areas. And I got to tell you, man, I'm super excited about the trip. I can't even tell you how excited I am. Magda says real quick about New York, winter here is not bad. I gotta say, I like your show first. Oh, thank you for being the first time listening, and thank you for saying you like it. Just a heads up to everybody out there: go subscribe to Critical and Thinking Podcast. Go to the Patreon.
Patreon.com/critical and thinking. Help us pay the bills.
Give us, if you got topic ideas, let us know. We ain't afraid to talk about the shit. Yeah. So
and plus, we always do on Facebook, but also it helps when you go to iTunes. Google Play, Stitcher, download it, rate it, give us a rating. That helps us. It's great to watch it live, and this is why we do this as a bonus. But where it helps and where it really counts is even if you already listened to it, download it, then toss it away. It doesn't cost anything to download it, but it lets us know let people know that you liked it and you downloaded it. So
now,
please go download.
I want to say thank you to the people that are still around, and if you're more than welcome to stick around for the next. We're only doing the next one like 40 minutes. So, but just a heads up. We purposely did the first two just kind of on some lighthearted, even though beating your kids is not lighthearted, but we kind of did that in travel destinations just because the reason why we call this show Critical and Thinking is because we both are comedians, but we also have grown man issues that we talk about in the world. So this next 40 minutes is going to have a little bit more topical stuff. We're going to talk about politics a little bit more. Then we haven't really touched on it in the first couple podcasts, so you're more than welcome to stick around. We want your opinions. Please write in and let us know what you think about the things we're talking about, and we will address your comments and your questions because that's what we want to do. So thank you for tuning in to this time.